John here. Some of my thoughts and perspectives. Came up with a concept for discussion today on my thoughts and perspectives on taking responsibility. That's a thing that's actually a deep part of who I am. I've spent my whole life taking responsibility for who I am and what I've done. This is not a new thing. I was probably 14, 15 years old, and I was pulled over by a police officer. I was riding on a motorcycle that had no tags and no registration. Guy in the back holding half a case of beer. Police officer had no choice but to pull me over. I was an idiot out there. So I end up in court, and I remember reasonably clearly the black lady judge. And this was in the early 80s. I'm actually impressed that there was a black lady judge in place, and this is back in Delaware. So they read the charges, and there was a whole list of them. And she goes, "How do you plea?" And I said, "Guilty, Your Honor." And her mouth dropped open. I think that she was so used to people lying and denying and not taking responsibility for their actions that this flabbergasted her. And she said, "Do you have a clear understanding of what the charges are, what you're being charged for?" And I said, "Yes, Your Honor. If I were to say not guilty, I would be lying." And I swear I saw a look of appreciation and admiration in her face. And I was a young teenager, but I recognized it. And I've lived my life that whole way. Now, I've had other relatives that ended up in court for the things they did, and they came up with all kinds of fantasy reasons and excuses for how somebody else was to blame and how they were not responsible. I dare say that toward the other end of our lives, having lived our lives in these means, I'm very comfortable and proud with my accomplishments in the world and who I am and where I've gotten. And the relatives that I'm referring to who would not take responsibility for their behavior, who their nature was to deny responsibility, have not fared quite as well. I guess my point being is take responsibility for your actions. Don't necessarily be proud of your actions if they're bad actions, but be responsible. Take that responsibility on you. Now, you don't have to be responsible for other people's bullshit. That's theirs. But own what is yours. My son started a blog, which kind of inspired me to start blogging on my lunch break. And he started off with a claimer. He said, "I'm not going to do a disclaimer, I'm going to do a claimer, because these are my words, these are my opinions, and I claim them." And that pretty much sums up my thoughts on this. Claim your actions. Be responsible for who you are, and own it. Try to follow a path where what you're owning is a positive thing for yourself and for others. But whatever you're doing, own it. Take responsibility and know that it is yours. All right. I think I'm going to end this with thought from Billy Joel. Be proud of your mistakes because they're the only thing you can truly call your own. Take care, guys. Bye.